Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for the team selection video for Double Gameweek 25. We hope everyone's doing well. How you doing, Jordan? I know you obviously couldn't make it. Hopefully you are feeling better.
Yes, I am better today, thank you. It's good to be back. Obviously, it is an interesting part of the season now, especially for the Double Gameweek 25. But first of all, we've got to recap 24, so I'll hand you over to Huss. And he will talk you through how his Game Week 24 went.
Yeah, well, Game Week 24 ended terribly, to be honest. It went quite bad in the end because, as you guys know, on Sunday I was doing really well. I was on a green arrow, but come towards the end of Game Week 24, I ended managing getting a red arrow in the end because of, we'll come on to Palmer and also Gabriel, actually. It's both of them. So I'll come on to why. It is a bit of a frustrating week for me. Especially because it started off so promisingly. So in goal, I've got Dubravka, who did concede. Unfortunately, again, I can't even remember who they played. I'm just going to have a look. But yeah, that was very annoying that Dubravka only got the 1 point against Nottingham Forest, obviously conceding 2 to them, which was poor. And I'm not actually very happy with Newcastle's defence. I just think they look pretty shocking. Defence, again, nothing to shout home about. Poro conceded. Doughty as well. Unfortunately conceded, and I made the rookie mistake of benching Gabriel to play a Luton defender, which I don't know what was going through my mind, but
well, I think
it's
the fixture because Doughty did have Sheffield and it looked good. Luton
at home as well.
Yeah,
and they lost 3-1 at home to Sheffield, which I don't think anyone saw coming. Alfie Doughty also did create 9 chances in that game, which is a lot. I think that's the most for a defender so far this season. So maybe some people will say I was unlucky, but it was very frustrating. That I benched Gabriel's 12-pointer. Obviously, Gabriel goes and scores a bullet header. And if I played Gabriel or Palmer, even one of them, I would have had a green arrow, which, again, shows the fine margins of the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold picked up an assist against Burnley and then came off injured, obviously, at half-time. Very annoying because he does have a double now that I'd have to probably transfer him out for. Into the midfield, nothing to talk about, really. I mean, Richarlison and Foden, we're not going to cover them too much. They blanked. Jota did return with a goal, and Saka comes away trumps with 15 points after his 2 goals against West Ham in that 6-0 thrashing. Up front to complete it, Watkins did blank against, was it Man United? I believe in the 2-1 loss. Darwin paid off, bringing him in. You know, he scored, and now he's got a double coming up, which I'm looking forward to owning him for. And then Haaland did also score 2 goals as well in the win against Everton, in the 2-0 win. And he was my captain. As you guys can see, on the bench, I've got 22 points off 2 players. So Palmer, Chelsea wasn't great in that game on Monday. They were struggling a lot, I think, in the first half against Palace. They looked quite poor. But then Palmer, literally, in the last 2-3 minutes of the game, he comes up with 2 assists. And he ends up with 2 bonus points as well, and he gets 10-pointer. So if I played Palmer or Gabriel, one of them in my team, I would have had a green. And yeah, it is unfortunate going forward. I will probably play Gabriel this week. So obviously, because Palmer plays City, I think I'm actually benching Palmer again. He'd probably punish me again. But I just don't have any other choice, really, with the way my team's set up. So that's the team, guys. I've got 69 points minus the 4, so 65. And that's all out. And my red arrow to 306k, which does sting a bit because I was closing into that top 200k. But I'm still confident that I can break back into there with a good double game week 25. Jordan, same for you. Talk us through your game week 24.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster game week. It was looking bad, but turned out to be really good. Well, let's start off with Leno in goal. His clean sheet was wiped against Bournemouth. Bournemouth did score 1 goal. If it weren't for that, then Leno could have had a clean sheet, but he did get a save point, so he ended up on 3 points. Moving on to the defence, so another disappointment from Estepinian. He did play 90 minutes, for those who didn't watch that game, and wondering why he's on 0 points. But yeah, the reason why he got yellow card, and obviously he conceded 2 goals, which took both his points off of him, which made him 1-0. So a lot of, I think, disappointment with Estepinian. I think if you're an owner of him, it's very frustrating. Despite his attacking threat is really high at Brighton, he hasn't really returned many in the few game weeks we've had him for. But hopefully he has nice fixtures coming up. Hopefully Zerbi does play him for those. Moving on to the next defender, that is Pedro Porro. Obviously, he was playing against Brighton, and Spurs did win, but Pedro Porro again did concede. No attacking return even from him. And it is rumoured Pedro Porro could be injured. It's not official yet, but I have heard rumours of Pedro Porro injury, so have a watch out for that. Moving on to last defender, Gabriel. We've just spoken about him in his goal. Got the clean sheet in that massive 6-0 win against West Ham. So Gabriel at the moment is, I'd say, one of the best defenders in FPL in terms of returning points. Moving on to midfield, so Foden, he blanked only a clean sheet point in that 2-0 win over Everton. Saka, a massive double haul in that 6-0 win. He scored 2 of the goals, got a clean sheet, and the bonus 2 points with only playing 66 minutes. So he came off early in that game. On the other hand, got Richarlison, again blank, so no Spurs returns at all. He also blanked in my team. And finally, for Palmer, who did play on the Monday night fixture, did get the 2 assists, which we mentioned, and the bonus 2. 2 assists coming from the very last extra time minutes of that game. It was quite looking doubtful that Palmer was actually going to get anything from that game. But Conor Gallagher did manage to put 2 behind, obviously, Crystal Palace, and Palmer did assist both of those goals. So it was pretty nice to see him return. 20 points for him, as I did go in captain, so it did pay off. I think a bit fortunately, it did pay off, but I'm glad he did get returns. Moving on to the front 3, so Haaland, I did go against Haaland this week. It looked a bit very risky, considering he scored 2 goals and got the bonus as well and got 13 points. But yeah, it's a good result from Haaland. I think coming back from injury, scoring his 2 goals, and yeah, looking good for the double coming up. Moving on to Tony, he did score one of the goals against Wolves in that 2-0 win. Very nice. Tony returning again, and also with a double coming up. And finally, Watkins with his 2 points, blanked against Man United. He could have essentially had 2 goals in that game, but Aston Villa didn't finish the chances, and Ollie Watkins didn't end up getting any returns from that game and ended up on 2 points. And finally, quickly on the bench, there's no returns really, apart from Gross again. He has punished me twice now with double hauls, and he got another one of 10 points. He did score the goal. In fact, it was a penalty. He did take a penalty as well, which was quite interesting for Brighton, and got the bonus 3 as well on top of that. Bell did blank in that 3-1 loss to Sheffield, and Branthwaite lost to obviously Man City, and Areola lost heavily to Arsenal 6-0. So yeah, only Gross was the returner on the bench. That is a green arrow of 10k. I was originally on 90k. But yeah, a nice little green arrow. I think that Palmer 2 assists did help. Otherwise, I would have been a red. And 78 points to cap off the end of game week 24.
Lovely. So that's the game week 24 stuff out the way. Let's move along to game week 25, double game week. And obviously, this is the interesting bit because obviously it's a really interesting game week. So let's talk about my team first up. This is the bus team that I'm deciding to play. So I'll just quickly read out my 11. So I've got Dubravka, who I'm playing in goal, who's got Bournemouth at home. I've decided to play Dubravka ahead of Areola. I don't actually expect a clean sheet for Newcastle because I've not been impressed by their defense. But Areola's just conceded 6 to Arsenal, and he's got Nottingham Forest away, which I don't see a clean sheet for West Ham either. So it could be a flip of a coin, but I've decided to play the home fixture. In the back 3, I've got Gabriel, who's got Burnley away. Obviously, he's gone and got a 12-pointer, which I benched him for. However, I believe I'm going to play him this week because I can see a clean sheet for Arsenal against Burnley. Doughty, I'm finally going to play him. His double game week isn't great. He's got Man United at home and Liverpool away, so I'm not expecting a massive score for him. I'll take 1 attacking return. If he gets an assist, happy days. Hopefully, hopefully he can do some damage against Man United, especially being the home fixture, because we know Luton are a lot better at home than they are away. But Liverpool against, we'll see what they can do. Trent, as you can see, is flagged, and he's actually confirmed to miss out both the double game weeks. It seems he could also miss the final against Chelsea. So Trent has to go, guys. I think if you've got Trent, then I would be selling him, and I'll come on to who and why and who your options are if you are looking to get rid of Trent. In the midfield, I've got Saka against Burnley away. Great fixture. Saka's coming off, back of some really good form. I'm going to start him. And I think he's a good player to own this week. Similar to Richarlison, another good fixture for him, Wolves at home. Richarlison's been on hot form. Did get a blank last week, but, I expect him to bounce back. And, Spurs are a team that are strong at home as well. And I back Richarlison to get back on the score sheet. Diogo Jota is an interesting one because we know Salah was pictured in training. So Salah could be back for this double gaming 25. And if he is, then obviously it makes Darwin and Jota slightly worse options because there's Salah there as well who could take minutes off them. So we'll have to see what happens with Salah. My guess is Salah will probably play one of those. He'll start one, maybe come off the bench in one as well. Because we know Salah is he's a bit of a freak of nature as well in terms of his fitness. Like he barely ever misses a game for Liverpool. And you can see his recovery speed is crazy. He's come back from an injury already. So much quicker than expected. So that's one to watch. I still think if you've got Diego Jota, he's fine to keep hold of. Out of those two Liverpool assets, I think Darwin will probably get more minutes because he plays down the middle. Jota's the one that could rotate out, but you never know. In my opinion, Darwin, Jota, and Salah are the best front three anyway. I think Diaz is the one that, on form, could be the one that drops out, but we'll have to see. But I think Jota is still, if he gets the minutes, I think he's a great pick against Brentford and Luton with two great games. Foden as well. Again, double game week. Can't really complain. He's been doing well this season for Man City so far. And he's got two home games. I'm confident in Foden. Hopefully he starts both. Obviously, you never trust Man City in terms of who's going to start. But here's hoping that Foden can do the business when he does start. I believe he will definitely start at least one. I'm quite convinced. Up front, Watkins, Fulham away, great fixture. Watkins, coming off a disappointing loss against Man United, which again, I've watched it back again, highlights. I think Man United were quite fortunate to win that game, if I'm being honest. But that's what United do. Obviously, Aston Villa will be looking to bounce back. And Watkins, I don't want to be selling him when he's got a decent fixture against Fulham. Darwin up top. Again, I'm very excited to own Darwin. He did return for me last week after the first time owning him this season. So it's the second game week with Darwin in my team, and hopefully he can do the business. Again, it's two good fixtures. He's got a high ceiling. He always looks threatening. We know the story with Darwin. He's going to get chances. It's whether he can take them. And I'm hoping, with two games coming up, he is, he is looking, on it. He's got his shooting boots on. And then to cap it all off, it is Haaland as well. Haaland, who, he's got two great fixtures as well, in my opinion. Two home games coming off the back of two great goals against Everton. He's got Chelsea and Brentford. Chelsea, again, don't convince me. I thought they were quite poor against Palace, and they're quite fortunate as well, the way that game went. Palace are a poor team, and they did struggle in that first half. And then Brentford at home, Brentford are conceding a lot of goals this season. Haaland, for me, is prime time captaincy for me. And he's also, just for you guys aware, he's going to be my triple captain, Haaland. I am going to activate my triple captain chip this week on Haaland when he's got two home fixtures coming up. On the bench, I've decided to bench Palmer, as you guys can see. Yet again, look, he could punish me because we saw he did get 2 assists against Palace, which I knew he'd probably get one, but I thought Chelsea were quite fortunate. And obviously, he kind of confirmed the red arrow for me when Palmer returned, because I knew a lot of managers played him. But he's got Man City away. If there's any game I'm going to bench him for, it's probably that game. He might still return because he is Chelsea's main player. We know he's on penalties, so he's always a threat when you are benching him. Pedro Porro has a knock, apparently. He missed training. That was confirmed by Ben Dinnery, I think. So whatever the case, I'm not going to play Pedro Porro anyway, so I'm actually not worried if he's on the bench. So as you guys can see, I've got one free transfer in the bank as well, and nothing in the bank, and then one free transfer. And my current plans is the main man, Trent. Trent's flagged. He's costing a lot of money. As you know, he's 8.6 million or whatever he is. So he has to go out of my team. And there's two options, I think, guys, for my team. Option A is Van Dijk. I think whoever's got Van Dijk this week is in a very good position. I think Van Dijk's going to play both the games. He's going to start, and he's going to play 90 minutes in both games. And he's nailed. He's a threat on set pieces. Liverpool could potentially get one clean, if not maybe 2 clean sheets. I know Liverpool's defense sometimes do concede, but I still think it's two very good games to bank on a clean sheet with Van Dijk. So Van Dijk, I really like Van Dijk. Van Dijk would be my main option. But the only problem is about bringing Van Dijk in is he blanks in game week 26. If he never had that blank, 100% I would have brought Van Dijk in. But because I have to weigh up my team and I've got other blankers in there next week, what I'm going to actually decide to do is bring in Nathan Ake instead. Now, as you guys know, I already have 2 Man City players, Foden and Haaland, right? So I can easily get the triple up with Ake, and that's why I've gone there. And Ake actually has a fixture in game week 26. Now we know with Man City, there's always that risk. Is Ake going to play 3 games in a row? Maybe not, but I'm going to take that risk that he does. If he doesn't, I have to just take it on the chin. I guess he might miss one of the doubles. We don't know, but Ake seems like he's one of the more nailed Man City assets at the moment in terms of the defense. And look, Van Dijk for me is a much better pick, personally for me. But I don't think Ake is a bad pick. And Van Dijk having that blank kind of muddies things for me because next week I'll only have 10 playing players. If I take a -4, I'd have to take a -8 to get out 11, which I don't really want to do. So I'm bringing in Ake. That gives me 11 playing players for this week, obviously. And then next week I'll have 9 next week. Plus I'll lose my free transfer, so I'll have 10.
Yeah.
And then with the -4, I think I'll get 11 out. So I'll have to take a -4 next week anyway. But with Van Dijk, I would have had to take a -8. So it's Ake a -4 or Van Dijk a -8. And I think it's better to go with Ake in that regard. And the reason I'm going Ake over another defender, like a single game week player, like a Saliba or whoever, is because of the double. And I do love my doubles, and I want to attack the double. And Ake is one of those players that can sometimes get a goal as well. So don't mind the aerial threat there. And literally, I'm just chasing the upside, trying to get triple City in because I've lost Trent, who was my other doubler. So that will leave me with 2, 4, 6 doublers this game week, which I think is enough to have for a double game week 25. I'm quite happy with the way the team looks. I probably, as you guys know, I am playing my triple captain chip on Haaland, and my vice captain is on Jota at the moment. But upon thinking further, I'll probably go Darwin as my vice captain for the triple captaincy, just because with Salah coming back, Jota's minutes may be a bit iffy. I think Darwin's probably going to play more minutes than Jota this double gaming. So that's why I'll go vice on Darwin. On the bench, nothing changes. Areola, Palmer, Porro, and then Taylor, who is back apparently. Taylor was seen in training. So he should be fit for double game week. Sorry, not double game week. He should be fit for game week 26. So I should have him starting for me next week, which is a big boost for his 1 pointer that he's going to get next week. But yeah, that's the team. Let us know what you guys think. That leaves me with 3.6 million in the bank as well. So I've got a lot of money in the bank. And my plans for game week 26, just going on a bit further, is to take the Liverpool guys out. I'll take out Diego Jota probably for someone like Kudus or maybe a Douglas Luiz. And then I'll probably take Darwin out for Solanke, because we know Solanke is going to have a double coming up in game week 28. So Darwin will go back to Solanke. Those will be my -4 for next week. But yeah, that's the team, Jordan. Ake's coming in. Let's talk through your team, bus team first, and then your transfer plans after as well.
So yeah, this is how my double game at 25 is set up. So start with the goalkeeper, Areola, who's got Nottingham Forest away. Now, in terms of both my goalkeepers, they don't really have a great fixture, especially with Areola coming off a 6-0 loss to Arsenal. Doesn't feel with much confidence when he has Nottingham Forest away. Especially with the way West Ham are currently playing at the moment, they kind of look like they're in a bit of trouble in terms of their team. Especially with Awani back into the Nottingham Forest squad as well, that's going to be a bit dangerous, I think, for Areola. But I think I'd rather play him than play Leno, who's got Aston Villa at home, because I do expect Watkins to score, so it kind of makes sense that I play Areola because I don't have any Nottingham Forest players that clash with him. So I'm just hoping that he can maybe not give a clean sheet, but get some save points if there is a lot of shots being taken at Areola, because he is pretty good in terms of the goalkeeper saving, especially the long shots that come at him. But yeah, I'm deciding to play him in goal. So let's move on to the defender picks. So first of all, we've got Estepinian, who has a nice fixture against Sheffield United away. Now, this is the one thing that really worries me, is will Zerbi play Estepinian or not? Because we've seen before, he's only played certain minutes, especially in that Luton game where he came off at 45 minutes after half time. And reason being is they were losing pretty heavily, Brighton, and Zerbi wanted to do a switch around. Then after that game week, he only played about 10 minutes due to whatever reason that was. But yeah, I'm hoping he did play 90 minutes last game week. I'm hoping he does play 90 this game week, because it is a nice fixture, which he can show his attacking threat that we've all been wanting, especially for us Estepinian owners who feel a bit robbed at the moment. And considering Estepinian should be more getting more of these returns in these games, but hopefully he does play Sheffield United away, because it is a great fixture for Brighton to bounce back in. So moving on to the next defender, that is Gabriel. I think there's not much to say about Gabriel. He's been pretty excellent as a defender pick for FPL, especially with his double haul last week in that massive win, and with a nice fixture lined up with Burnley away, and especially with Arsenal in the title race, neck and neck with Man City and Liverpool. I think any Arsenal asset like Gabriel is very essential for these upcoming games Arsenal do have. So I'm happy to play him for that Burnley away. And finally, Pedro Porro, as we've also talked about, is knock. So he could potentially miss out on that Wolves at home fixture. It's not entirely, say, confirmed yet. Obviously, wait and see before you decide what to do with him. But yeah, he's looking doubtful for that Wolves at home fixture. And I've been a bit disappointed, really, with Pedro Porro in the last few game weeks. He hasn't really returned many. He's not kept any clean sheets for a while. And yeah, he's sort of flatlined for Spurs. But just wait and see. Moving on to the midfield now. So finally, I'm able to fit in Gross, who's got Sheffield United away. Now, it's going to be a bit annoying if Gross does blank now, after I've literally used him on the bench twice, and he got a double haul twice on the bench. So technically, I haven't had any points from him where it's actually counted in terms of returns. So hopefully, with his fixture against Sheffield United away, even though Matoma is back now, I'm hoping Gross still has that attacking threat, and he can show that in that fixture. Moving on to the next midfielder, that is Saka. He's got Burnley away. Again, not much to say about Saka. He's pretty. We can forget all the doubts we've had over whether we keep him or not. I think he's definitely a keeper for the rest of the season, especially the way he's playing. He scored a penalty as well, so we don't have to worry about who the penalty taker is for Arsenal, as ours fills us with confidence now. And yeah, I'm happy to obviously play. He is potentially a nice captain pick if you're looking not to go for double, if you dare. But yeah, he has a nice fixture. Next, we've got Richarlison, who has Wolves at home. And yeah, he blanked last game week. And Son is back in the Spurs team. I still think Richarlison will still start and whatnot. I don't think that affects him much between him and Werner. But yeah, he has a nice fixture against Wolves. Wolves did lose 2-0 in the last game. So yeah, I still play Richarlison. He has that. He has found more confidence, I think, in the last few game weeks, getting those nice double hauls and returns and goals. So yeah, I'm happy to play him. And that finally leaves me with Foden, who is my fourth and last midfielder spot, who plays Chelsea and Brentford, both home fixtures. And yeah, we do have to worry at the back of our heads if Foden will play both or not. But you never know with Pep. He might decide to play both of these games. It is important for Man City to win both of these fixtures if they have to stay in the title race. So yeah, I'm happy to play Foden. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he does well in both. Finally, moving on to the front three, and I think I'm in the luxury of owning this player, Tony, because not many people actually do own Tony for this double so far. He's only 8.4% owned, so he is a differential who has a double game week, which it doesn't seem like it's the best fixtures for obviously his double, because he does have Liverpool at home and Man City away. But I think if he gets anything from either one of those fixtures, I think it's still really good for your rank, because no one really owns him. And it's going to be very beneficial if he at least gets one goal in one of those fixtures, even if Brentford lose. So, yeah, I'm happy to play Tony. Happy to own him as well, as not many people have really looked at bringing Tony in or even spoke about it much. Moving on to the next forward, that is Watkins, Fulham away. So, nice fixture for Aston Villa to bounce back in after that frustrating defeat against Man United. So, yeah, another player that I think if you don't have him, you should really bring him in, because he can punish you, even if he does blank here and there. But when he does return, it is massive for Watkins. And finally, we've got Haaland, who again has the same fixtures as Foden and double. He is currently my captain pick as well. So yeah, not much to talk about with Haaland really. His 2 goals pretty much showed how dangerous he can be, even if he had no chances in that first half. But in the second, obviously, with KDB coming on, it did change the game around and provided Haaland with one of the goals for him. So yeah, I'm happy to captain Haaland this week. I think I'm not going against him like I did last week, because I think it's very dangerous, especially when he has a double. And just quickly on the bench, so we've got Leno, who we've spoken about. It's got Aston Villa at home. Palmer, I'm deciding to play bench him this week because the other Man City away. It's a difficult fixture, and I think I'll risk it and bench him to see. Hopefully, he doesn't get anything massive from that game, but I do expect him to score. Got Brantford, who has Crystal Palace at home. I think Brantford is a great defender to play this week if you can fit him in, because I'm in sort of a predicament of playing Brantford as I've got 3 defenders who have nice fixtures as well. And finally, we've got Bell, who, as you may think, it's a surprise. I'm actually benching a double game player. I've solely just brought him in for the cheap price of 3.9 million he's at. So I didn't really think about him or Luton having a double and playing him. So he's just there for money saving reasons. But without further ado, let's talk through what my plans are. So I got 1.6 million in the bank, and I got 2 free transfers. So I do have to make a decision this week on what I do. So what I was thinking of is, and this makes my decision much easier now, because obviously Pedro Porro is doubtful, but I was originally going to take him out before I heard about this rumor that he is maybe not playing that Wolves at home fixture. I am considering bringing in, well, taking Porro out, but also taking Richarlison out. Now, Richarlison is a maybe. I'm not entirely set on this transfer for Richarlison, but the Pedro Porro one, definitely 100% on, but the Richarlison one is 50-50. And the players I'm thinking of bringing in for these 2 Spurs assets are, first of all, I'm also bringing in Ake as well. I do want to bring in another double game week player. And I think Ake, if he does manage to play both, I think it's a great one for him, because even though he doesn't get much attacking threat, he has had, I think, 3 goals and 2 assists so far this season. He did get an assist against Everton in the last game week, which looked pretty good. So, yeah, I'm going to chance it at Ake. Why not? I mean, he's playing 2 fixtures, so it is the best of both when it comes to that. And I'm also thinking of bringing in Diogo Jota. Now, this one, I'm not sure, because obviously with the Salah news, him potentially being back as well, Jota could miss one of these fixtures and be benched. So Jota could be potentially a single game week player if he does miss one of these fixtures. So that leaves me a bit of doubt of whether I want to bring him in as well. You have to see on the deadline stream what I do with obviously Jota, but the Ake one is definitely 100% on that transfer. But yeah, that's currently my transfer plans. That does leave me 0.9 million in the bank. So yeah, it is a little bit cheaper. I think Ake as well for the price. So it saves me a bit of money, and it does fund the move for Diogo Jota if I do want to go there or not. But yeah, that's currently my thinking. Looking ahead for double game week 25.
Okay, interesting. Let's take a few of your comments, guys, and see what you guys got. What you got to say. So we've got Spurs 64. Hey guys, with Trent out, do I play Brantford or take a hit and get someone in that has a double? Virgil, maybe. If it's for a hit, I still think Virgil van Dijk is a great option this week. By the way, guys, I think he could have a really I expect a double digit return from Virgil personally, because he's going to play both games. That's 4 points right there. I'm expecting 1 clean sheet, whether that's against Luton or Brentford. I expect 1. So there you go. That's a double digit haul right there. He's probably going to get at least a bonus point. And that's without him scoring or getting assist or anything like that. So I think he's worth it. Obviously, that blank does muddy things slightly, because obviously, how many players? I mean, you were unsure about Jota as well. I remember, Jordan, because he's blanks in next week.
Yeah,
like how many players can you get out in next week? Have you checked?
What do you mean by how many players can I?
How many playing players will you have in the blank 26? Because you'll have Jota that blanks, you'll have Bell blanks, you'll have Palmer that blanks, you'll have. I'm just seeing who else you'll have that blanks.
I still have a starting 11 because of I can play Brantford in the absence of Jota, because I have obviously him blanking next week. I can play Brantford and have 4 in the defense, but my plan is to obviously bring in another midfielder in place for Jota that plays in that blank. So I will have a starting 11 for me. But that's the predicament with the blank that Liverpool have.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have an 11 actually. Oh, you have to play a 4-3-3, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have to play a 4-3-3, but I think I'll take out Jota and play off obviously the 3-4-3 instead of playing 4 defenders at the back.
Yeah, because you'll have a free transfer as well next week, so you could do Jota back out basically. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, with the hits, it could pay off. It could not pay off. Obviously, we know it is a tough one, but I do think Virgil is a great pick this week. Patrick, hi lads, use bench boost on Garnacho, Maguire, Van Heck, and Dubravka, or triple captain Haaland. I'd rather triple captain Haaland personally in that situation. I just don't think there's much upside with Dubravka, Van Heck, and Maguire, personally. Maybe you've got some. Garnacho's decent, but he's got Luton, isn't he? So
Yeah.
that's not bad. But yeah, the rest of the other ones, I'm not really keen on. Don't have any Liverpool players, says Tejas. Can't get to
Neither
Jota
do I.
without a hit.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a bit doubtful now whether you want to take a hit for Jota because
he could
would he
miss.
play? Yeah, he could miss one of the fixtures.
Yeah, so for those that aren't aware, Salah was pictured in training. He looks like it was very positive news regarding Salah. He's got boots on and everything. So I expect Salah to probably play one now. So, and that does make Jota, I think, a definite doubt for some of those minutes. He probably will still start Jota, but Jota could come off an early sub. I wouldn't be surprised with that now. And obviously, I've got Jota already, so I'm gonna just play him. But if you've not got him, obviously, maybe that's more of another thing to think about. But I think check out team news. Liverpool are the early kickoff as well, guys, on Saturday. Liverpool are the 12:30 kickoff, so we might get team news. If we hear Jota's on the bench, then maybe I might make your decision. Or I mean, he could play against Brentford and bench for the Luton one, so that's one thing to consider as well. Already used my wild card, so I don't think I'll get a better bench in game week 37. Or if you've already used your wild card, then you could play it. Fruit plug, I already have done Trent out for Van Heck to fund Palmer to KDB with 0.0 in the bank. I'd have preferred Lord Maguire though.
Oh God.
Fair enough. I mean, if you can get KDB, I think KDB is another great pick. It's going to be hard to get into our teams, but if you've got him, I think he's just behind Haaland, is one of the better picks this week, I think. Hi lads, 85 points for me. This double is a little frustrating with the Trent news. Just wondered, would you take Trent out for a hit? And if so, for who? So I wouldn't take Trent out if you've got like an Arsenal player on the bench. If you've got Gabriel on the bench, then I'll just play Gabriel. If you've not got a good bench, then he could be worth taking a hit to bring in a Van Dijk. But I'd rather try play an Arsenal defender if you can bring in an Arsenal defender like Gabriel rather than benching him.
Or if you still want a double that doesn't blank, you could go for a Brentford defender if you dare, or go for a obviously Man City defender like we are going for Ake.
Yeah, Ake is the one I think, or Walker even could be decent. Was one of those, or if you want to be 100% nailed, goalkeeper transfer, bring Edison in, but he'll probably concede as well. Alex, Trent to Saliba. Don't think any City defender starts 3 of the next 3. Well, that's the risk we're taking, and I don't think we will. I don't think Ake will start 3 of 3. If I'm being honest with you, Jordan. I know we're bringing him in, but I'll be surprised if he does start 3 of 3. So Trent to Saliba could definitely pay off, but obviously we are trying to chase the upside, I guess, with the double, and it's just a risk with Man City. Regulon, I don't think is a bad shout, by the way. Because he got a 12-pointer in the last game. He's got a double. It's not a great double. Liverpool and Man City. I think I don't see any clean sheets for Brentford personally. I think Liverpool and Man City will both score. So you are relying on the attacking returns. Start Gordon or Palmer. Obviously, Gordon's got. Who's Gordon got again?
Gordon, he has.
Nottingham Forest, isn't it? No, sorry. Yeah, if you can check that for me. If you go on back on the slides,
Bournemouth at home.
Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a tough one. I'll probably start Gordon, but I think Palmer could easily get an attack and return. He could get an assist, or he can get a penalty. And I mean, that's a tough one. I might even play Palmer, even though he's got a tough fixture, because Palmer has shown it. He can still score in majority games because he's basically Chelsea's main man. A lot of the things that Chelsea do go through him. So that's a tough one. What do you reckon?
I'll probably play Palmer. I mean, he's playing against his old club, so he knows, obviously, Man City well, and he could punish them with a goal. I don't expect them to win, obviously, Chelsea, but maybe Palmer does get something out of that game. I think I feel more confident going with him over Gordon. Newcastle haven't really liked the look of him, if I'm honest. So I think even though Chelsea haven't looked that great, I just like Palmer as an asset.
And your chips, what do you have left?
I've got 3 chips left out. So I've got bench boost, triple captain, and the free hit.
Brilliant. Leno to Alisson, wouldn't sell Porro. You will need Spurs players for 29. Leno to Alisson, yeah, you could do it. I prefer to have Van Dijk if you're going for a Liverpool defender, personally, because obviously the goalkeeper taking up that money could affect you later down the line when you want to bring in another player. I don't like having too much money tied up in the goalie. And Alex also says 12k currently, hopefully first season inside top 10k after free of having 10 to 20k ranks. Yeah, hopefully, Alex, you could get it. I mean, top 10k is becoming harder and harder to get these days, but yeah, it's a good aim to have, and you look like you're obviously on the right tracks if you're on 12k at the moment. I got Walker already. I'm already playing Gabriel, and first bench defender is Porro, so you can see the predicament I'm in. Yeah, if you can do Porro to Van Dijk, then I don't hate it personally. I just think Van Dijk could reward a -4, in my opinion, because I do expect Van Dijk to do at least one clean sheet, and then the minutes played, that's a 10-pointer right there. So that's what I'm thinking. But obviously, clean sheets are very hard to predict. We've not had many. You can't really predict a clean sheet. Brentford could go score against Liverpool, and then Luton, as we've seen, they can cause teams issues as well. But I just have a feeling they may get one. But I think that's it, guys, from us. That's been the team selection for Double Game Week 25. We are back again on Saturday morning. I'm just going to see when we're back, because it is a early deadline, isn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, it's an 11 a.m. deadline on Saturday. So we'll be back 10 a.m. Saturday morning for the deadline stream. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to activate my triple captain chip. I'm 90% sure of it. Jordan's going to make 1, maybe 2 transfers. I'm going to make 1 transfer as well, minimum. And yeah, it should be a very lively stream. So make sure you guys also like the stream if you have enjoyed the content so far. It really helps support the channel. And also make sure you are subscribed if you're watching for the first time or you're new around here. Also share the video as well on your Twitter, on your socials, just to get our channel out there. It really helps as well, as we've just gone past 1k. And we really appreciate your support, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Yeah, do stay obviously up to date with our channel, and especially for the deadline stream. There's a lot to happen for that, and especially for the Double Game Week 25. It feels pretty exciting to obviously have these many fixtures in play. But yeah, until then, guys, take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you very soon for the next stream.